What happened in 1962 at Ole Miss was a war between the state of Mississippi and the United States of America.
I remember being outside playing and coming inside, and my parents' eyes were glued to the television. And I remember saying, "What are you all watching?" "Shh, shh, University of Mississippi is being integrated." And I looked at the television set, and all I can remember was seeing some real mean, foul-looking faces, very unwelcoming faces, and just sort of saying to myself, I would never go to a place like that.
America fought a little war on the night of September 30th, 1962, into the morning of October 1st, 1962. A small battle occurred in Oxford, Mississippi, on the campus of the university and in the city.
But those were some very tough and difficult times where people died. Getting James Meredith in here and registering in October of 1962 was not an easy thing. It was such a tough thing. It rose to the level where it was on the president's desk, where the president of the United States is having to be involved, and the Attorney General Bobby Kennedy having to send out federal marshals, 25 or 26 or so, to protect a man's life simply because he wanted to register for classes.
I was at war, and I knew I could win the war against Mississippi by only one means, and that was to get the federal government in a position where they had to use their force to support my rights.
I think James Meredith was incredibly strategic, incredibly bright, and I don't know what sort of support system or guidance that he had to determine that the best way to beat the system was by using the system.
We often thought, how on earth did he study under those circumstances? Because we had fairly difficult circumstances to study under, we thought ourselves. And so we would always wonder, how on earth did he do it? And so in that sense, he kind of became and remained our hero.
James Meredith came to Ole Miss, and he had a very, very different experience than I had. They had to, people shooting at him and, other experiences that he had that I didn't have as a football player, When I came along, I was a football player, I was protected as long as I played, as long as I knocked people's head off. It wasn't no problem with it.
James Meredith could have chosen a historically black college or university to attend and easily have gone there and been fine. But he chose to knock down the walls of segregation, and I look forward to continuing to pay tribute to him. He's a living a monument to that movement, and I'm glad that he had the courage to stand up then and allow us to have the opportunities today that we have.
You cannot have a second or a third or 10,000 unless you have a first. There has to be a first. So there would not have been a Deuce McAllister or Michael Orr if there was not a James Reed and a Ben Williams. There would not have been an Arminty Price unless there was a Peggy Gillum. There would not have been Otis Sanford or Ronnie Agnew, a George Hillard, Edie Keller Green, Makiba Morgan, unless there had been a James Meredith. And we all recognize that the opportunities that were afforded us, the opportunities to get a great education, to be a part of a wonderful alumni network, were all made possible by James Meredith.
And the integration of this university was one of the pivotal events that made this place go from a place to a university.
If you want to think of Americans who have done great and glorious things for our nation, look to Oxford, Mississippi. Look to the University of Mississippi. Look at James Meredith. Look at the federal marshals. Look at the Mississippi National Guardsmen who rescued the city that night and the University of Mississippi. and look at the regular black troops and white troops who followed them in, marching through a wall of flame in one case, and you'll find gallantry, and you'll be inspired, I think, as an American. And if we understand what happened here that night, we're gonna have a much better sense of what it means really to be an American when the stakes are so high, the risks are so great, the danger is so real, and the transformation is so inspiring.
Such significant events that led to somebody today simply walking into a classroom and sitting down with people of different ethnicities, that was not so simple then. And so the way we pay tribute to their legacy is by paying it forward.
James Meredith's legacy to me extends much further than just the realms of Ole Miss and Oxford and the state of Mississippi. I think his contributions in terms of opening the doors for black students and all students of color to attend a public university in the state of Mississippi have far-reaching implications in terms of where we stand today and the American public's ability to look beyond a person's skin tone and to look at them for their true merits, their skills and abilities, and to be able to make judgments about what their potential is.
One of the greatest compliments I've ever gotten, I remember our first meeting, he said, you know, I chose Ole Miss, but Ole Miss chose you. And that really meant a lot to me, coming from someone who had such courage and sacrificed his life to pave the way for others.
When I was elected president of the Ole Miss Alumni Association, it was an important moment for me and probably one of the greatest honors of my life. But one thing that made it even sweeter was to open my mail one day. And there was a letter from James Meredith who said, "I have been watching you. Your moment has come. I am proud of you. I have kept clips and pictures and stories about you. Be a great president."
This was a great turning point in American history, in the history of the civil rights movement.
He made it possible that he was first, and we could honor that legacy by being the best students that we could be and being the best community servants that we could be.
We are who we are because of those people who came before us and paved a better way.